Okay, so this is the latest build. I've been quiet for a while because I've been trying to port the entire thing into threejs. The original system was a port from Sculpt from the desktop thing, which is built in WebGL, into WebXR, but still keeping the base renderer. After a few chats with Mr. Doob, the maintainer of threejs, and he did a working port of the entire system using just Claude code and getting it to threejs. And I thought, okay, that sounds pretty cool. So after trying to look at his code base for a bit, I thought, well, why didn't I just try doing it here? So that's what this is. You might say, why? It's a good question. One of the little fun things is this, that you can see now I've got proper working controllers. So you can see like the thumbstick works. If I press buttons, they actually update. And this will update for hopefully every platform. So threejs has a pretty amazing library of just built-in things. And one is that I think for most of the commercial headsets available now, when you just put it on and ask for controls, it'll just give you them for free. So a lot of the work I'm doing has been just trying to get it back up to parity. So most of these things are working. The most prominent ones that aren't working yet is the transform tool. That should be pretty quick. The voxel tool is not working yet, but it should get that working pretty soon. And paint, but again, should be straightforward. It's just getting the rest of it back on its feet. So it still feels pretty fast. It's still running at sort of 90 frames a second. The menus are all here. I just read today that threejs has a pretty amazing built-in menu toolkit that will make maintaining this much, much easier. So I'm going to move to that next. But other just little nice things that I get here is because WebGL gives you sort of nothing for free. It's just a way to sort of blast triangles to the screen and nothing else. Whereas threejs is a proper sort of scene hierarchy with objects, which meant that I can now, in the scene menu, I can have a little outliner. So I can, turn things on and off. So you can see I've got these two parts and I've got the default sphere in there, so I can grab that and delete it. So that's all just, much nicer. Wireframes are now sort of drawn using native threejs stuff, although it's irritating that it's not working. Probably if I do a bit of this, it'll work. If I go subdivide, let's see if this works. No, okay, I got to work out why it's not working. Let me just go scene clear and show it on a default sphere. Sphere. There we are. There we are. So much nicer looking wireframe. And just a lot of other little finish things that now that I'm working in a more nice environment. Oh, that's the other thing I should point out. So this controller, you can see this is, it's not a line, just annoying. I'm now using a Galaxy XR. So it's nice to kind of prove that I can make this all work on different headsets. And there's very little code changes required. So just sort of generally speaking, it's all kind of there now. The wireframe don't really need it. Just increasing. It's yeah, I think it's feeling pretty good. If I did some tweaking to the way button clicks work, so it's now much more zippy. So you've only got to push it down sort of a fraction, and it should immediately select, which is quite nice. What else have I done? I think just kind of as I was moving along, just trying to make sure things sort of operating as they should. I'll just make this a little sculpting demo, I guess. Put that to there. Make this nose a bit sillier. I notice I'm always sort of sculpting lumpy old men, so let's see if I can force myself to make this a little bit more elegant. Push that away, push that away. Yep, let's blow that right away. Do a much more dainty nose. Like that. Yeah, something a bit more elegant, refined, superhero-y, I feel will be nicer. And I'm always doing sort of grumpy brows. Let's see if I can make it not quite so grumpy. It's kind of working. Crease. Another way. A bit of a smile, why not? A bit of, what are we going to do? Let's get a pinch. imaging. Other way. I just need more material through here. Look at that. Yeah, it's looking good. Pinch through there. This is a bit much, isn't it? That should come down a bit. I'm trying to think of other things I've done to this. Any amazing insights? I don't think so. Just kind of just refining, really. It all just feels zippier. Like, I think having the excuse of I'm doing a big engine rewrite made me sort of feel I should attack problems I was noticing. So generally speaking, there's way less sort of odd, unexplained slowdowns. That's really nice and sculpted now, I think. So symmetry is working really nicely now, whereas before it was like a little bit unstable. What else is working better now? That should probably be more forward, I think. Like that, yeah, from the top. Oops. Yeah, it's looking nice and stylized, like that. Give a bit of form as lips, I think. So we can whisk that. I'm going to change the material, actually. Something darker. Yeah, there's a really dark one. That's better. A little more. Not too rough. Like this was before. Give him some nostrils. He deserves nostrils, I feel. Move. And see what sort of eyes I'm going to give him. Maybe some Studio Soy little just dots. Other way. Yeah, I always loved Sascha Hunseld's designs. Had this very sort of angular thing that were great. That was translated really like remarkably nicely into 3D. I was always surprised at how nice they were. What's he up to, I wonder? Try this bit of inflate. That's kind of a guy, and I'll just try and get some harsh edges into it again. Finding for some reason the flatten brush that never seems to work as I could want it to in 2D, in Nomad Sculpt, and even in sculptxr works fantastically in VR. I just get this really nice, like you're just shearing bits off this, bits of clay off. This feels really, really nice. Let's say this is the thumbnail for YouTube. Yeah, what else do I have to point out about this? I don't know. There's just stuff. I've just been working lots on things, so still a bit of work to go. This build is at sculptxr beta, so I'll put a link in the description, but the plan is eventually to move this all into the proper primary build. Oh, other little things just in settings. I've got a few different things here, so you can change the menu brightness if you want, you can change the menu saturation if you want. I like having it up like that. Even controls for the wireframe is quite nice, so you can change how much it's lifting off the surface, so see how that kind of hides or shows the back faces. And you can change the alpha as well, so really thick or really thin. Again, threejs does just really nice wireframes. Some of this stuff isn't quite working yet. I think this is wide up, not sure. There's probably enough of this little updates. Yeah, work in progress, getting there.